And Coach Ken Crates for Canvets Media, good to see you. How does it feel to have the leading rushing team in the nation, as my friend Dean Darley would say?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a tribute to our players and the hard work that they put in and being able to execute on Saturdays and do what we ask them to do and do it at a high level. It's been a positive, and obviously we have to keep doing that. You know, I think one thing that we've stressed going in is the 4-game season, and now we have a new 4-game season. So the month of October is here. Today was practice number 2, going into game number 1. So what's behind us, you know, you look at the stats and some of those things, none of that matters. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is a win. And however we can get that accomplished is how we'll do it. So I've been pleased with the guys and their execution, but we got a long road ahead for sure.
And Bryson Daly had a phenomenal season. Carried 24 times against Temple, and Kanye Udo 14 times for 128 yards, Noah Short 5 times, Jake Rendina 6. How do you feel about the distribution of the ball off your option plays?
Well, I think it's something that we kind of discuss weekly, and we try to take what the defense has given us, and at times it's whoever has the hot hand. You know, and I think when you look at certain drives, Bryson's been doing a phenomenal job carrying the football and being a strong runner. He's improved in some aspects, especially on the quarterback lead zone of his fits. And the guys without the football, I mean, even Kanye, he had a lot of, you know, really big runs for us in the game against Temple, but he also did a much better job without the football, and that's something that he's priding himself on and getting better in his run fits as well. But, you know, the distribution is part of the game plan, and forcing defenses to have to defend everything that we can present as an offensive unit is something that we need to continue to do, and hopefully we will continue to do that.
Hey, got to say, the plays where Connor Finucane went out in front of Bryson Daly on a couple of sweep plays out there, kind of pulling, made some great blocks. Tell us a little bit about how Connor Finucane has done since he came back.
He's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you look at a guy that's already up to 295 pounds.
Is he?
So he's getting back into form, and you know what you can count on Connor on game day. And he's going to be ruthless. He's going to be violent. He's going to do his job and doing it at an elite level. And you know, at times there were times during the game against Temple we had to get on him and get him to play better. But I've been really pleased with his play overall and what he brings to our unit. It's a different mindset, and it's a mindset that we need.
Very good. And what do you see in the Tulsa defense that you're going to be up against Saturday?
Well, I think they're really well coached, and I think that and that's not cliche. I really do think that at all 3 levels, they're really well coached. They have multiple coaches on staff that have experience defending our type of offense. So, you know, we got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be a challenge, and it's their job to make it a challenge on us. We focus on ourselves every week. It's a nameless opponent, but they will present challenges up front. You know, the transferred defensive end, I knew him from Mill Creek, Miles Jackson. He's transferred a couple times. I think he's a really good player. They play a lot of guys too. They've got good depth in the front 7, so they'll be stout. They'll play multiple D-line combinations, different linebackers, different guys in the secondary. So we have a big challenge this week.
Thanks, Coach. We have guys online.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Cody. Ken McMillan from The Record.
Hey, Ken. How are you?
Good, thank you. Cody, we were talking to Coach Munkin earlier. I asked him about the offensive line play. These are people that you had on the team last year, and yet I'm sure you may, tweaked a few things. What is it that they're doing better this year that maybe they didn't do last year?
Well, they're incredibly well coached. I think Coach Vitti does a phenomenal job, and obviously Coach Drinkle with him. They set the tone, but I think they take coaching, and the way they come off the ball and the way they do things, they have great chemistry. You know, that room and their moniker and the way they carry themselves, they have a lot of pride in their unit, and they know that we go as they go. And I've been really pleased with how they played. And it's really just a mentality, and it's black flag to the nth degree. And they're gritty, they're tough, They play together, you know, and it makes it easy to do some things at every level. So, and they'll continue getting better, and guys will continue. You know, Lucas Scott's playing multiple positions in a game. You know, when he's playing tackle and playing guard, you just having that flexibility is incredible. But I've been really pleased with that unit, and they'll continue to get better from week to week. But you know, they're the engine, and we go as they go for sure.
Getting that push off the line is going to be so critical to a run offense like yours.
Absolutely, and they pride themselves on that. You know, Coach Vitti grades them on, did we create a new line of scrimmage on every play? You know, and if that's not the case, even if the play was successful, you know, they're not doing their job. So it's, you know, they're held to a very high standard. They hold themselves to a very high standard, and their play shows up. And the way they practice, the way they perform, it's a gritty group, man. I love those guys.
I have to say, though, just from my own observation, and believe me, I'm not an expert at any of this, but to me, it seems to me like you guys are opening better holes and holding them open this year than maybe last year. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys, the strain to finish and play them with extreme effort to the echo of the whistle, you know, that's something that we demand out of those guys. And, you know, I'll be honest, you watch college football across the country, and not all offensive linemen are doing what we ask our guys to do. And, you know, just because they sustain a block for a count, the play is not over. You know, so our guys train to finish, they chase the ball, they play with a superior effort, and that's something that we demand and hold them to a very high standard. And they accept that role and responsibility, and I think they're doing a great job.
I know you said that you deal game by game, practice by practice, but big picture, how does it feel to be 4-0 and doing good things?
I think to be 4-0 is really an example of how our kids have approached every week. And it's every week of practice. It's the little things, it's the details, the film prep, the way they go about their work every week, you know, and they flush it and they put it behind them, you know, and it's something we stress as coaches. You know, we make a big deal out of it, not reading the press clippings and the rat poison and patting yourself on the back and all those things. I don't think our kids are immune to that, but they do a great job with maturity and handling things. But that's been a message that we continuously tell those guys, and it doesn't matter if, you know, it's every week is a new week and a new adventure. And it's October now, and we play Tulsa, and Tulsa is game number 1, and it's the only game that matters. So that's the mentality around here. And today was critically important, and today was all that mattered to them. So that's the mentality we got to keep.
One of the things you deal with, obviously, is being able to go on the road. You've done it a couple times. You've been successful. Is there something about? Is there a measure of? I'm looking for the word here. Is there something about going on the road which either hones your team a little bit, or you do something a little different going on the road?
I think when our guys go on the road, I mean, I think Coach Munkin does a phenomenal job of trying to keep things consistent. You know, we stay in a hotel for home games, and, you know, the schedule is consistent and how we operate during the week is consistent. But, you know, one of the big parts of the plan for our players is to never flinch. And, you know, it doesn't matter the environment. It doesn't matter if we're on the road, if we're at home. Every opportunity is an equal opportunity. And how we approach it is critically important mentally and physically. So I think our guys, you know, they're focused, their attention to detail, they don't flinch. So, you know, going on the road is just another opportunity to play a football game. And, you know, I think this week, like any other week, it's an opportunity to play, an opportunity to get better and compete. And I think that's how our kids attack it. They don't make it bigger than it is.
Last thing from me, we just had Cam Sherwin here, and he really played it close to the vest as far as getting that touchdown the other day. But you've been around the program a long time. What's it like for a senior who's had his struggles through the first 3 years, admittedly, that he said, to see him have that spotlight moment? What was that like for you guys?
Well, I mean, again, when you see a player, and we're a developmental business here. You know, we don't infiltrate our roster through a transfer portal. You know, it's still old school, and we're going to bring guys in, and we're going to develop them. Every cycle is critical in the weight room and spring ball and fall camp and every season. And you tend to see it, especially here. You see those group of seniors that may not have been impact players, so to speak, in years past, but they show up late in their career, and it's because they stick to the plan and the process. And he's one of those guys that he's had his ups and downs as a player, but he's always stuck to his coaching and the plan at hand, and he's a great teammate. He works his tail off at practice, and I was really happy to see him be rewarded, running a great route,